Tonight we're going to be discussing the Glasgow Barren County YMCA. We have as our guest the director of the local YMCA, Allison, and also the membership director, Susan Flanders. Sean, we'll begin with you. Give a brief history of the YMCA, where it originated and why.
The YMCA began meeting the needs of people in 1851 in London, England. And it was first met at a dry goods store. You said brief, right? Okay. What was going on during that time in world history was people were starting to flock to the inner cities. They were leaving the farm and going to work in factories. London, like a lot of other metropolitan cities, was just packed with people moving in, the shortage of housing, shortage of everything, and also shortage of opportunities for people to grow spiritually. So George Williams began a small fellowship in the dry goods store upstairs where the people who worked there actually lived. They met for prayer with the belief that young men coming to the city needed to be strengthened spiritually. They needed to have a strong moral foundation to help guide them into this new way of life, into this new, really, civilization as it was evolving. So that's when they began, and it quickly spread across the world, across the Atlantic Ocean first to Boston, where the first YMCA began in 1854. And since then it's gone all around the world. And it's now in 100 different countries worldwide. It's in Russia. In fact, right now, since the demise of the Soviet Union, YMCAs are making big strides and doing a lot of growing in the Soviet Union, providing things that the state used to, such as youth sports programs, gymnastics, swimming, soccer, basketball, all the things that used to be centralized to the state. New provinces in Russia have invited the YMCA to run some of those activities.
Is there an international organization that ties them all together?
There's an international association of YMCAs. The YMCA of the USA is autonomous, but they do have a world conference every 4 years. And had one last summer, and they get together, talk about their mission. They get together for fellowship to kind of bond together, to know that their scope is beyond the countries that they serve, but really their cause is worldwide, and there's a lot of unity between the different YMCA movements and countries.
And where is the national headquarters?
YMCA of the USA is headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. Excuse me.
No. And how are the locals tied in with the nationals? I assume that, well, as a matter of fact, I know there's a state organization too.
Well, actually, there are...
or a regional, I don't know what you call it. It's a regional organization before you get to the national organization.
Yeah. We happen to be, it's really confusing, and it would bore everybody to death. It's the YMCA, the Barren County Family YMCA, is an association of people who have decided to support the goals and the mission of the YMCA of the USA, and have chosen to associate with them. A lot of benefits to that. Use of the name. A lot of people have been doing the Y work for many years. In the YMCA here, was benefited from a lot of support from other YMCAs regionally and locally and nationally. They sent professionals here to help us, to guide us, to help us decide what the needs were here and how best to meet them. So there's a lot of advantages to that association. The country's broken up into regions. We are in the South Field. That's the region of the country that we are in. There's leadership at the South Field level, and then, as you mentioned, the state level. We're in a cluster called Top of the South Cluster, which is all of, actually it's all of Kentucky plus Cincinnati and part of southern Indiana.
What is the financial structure of the national and your regional and your state organizations? How are they financed?
The YMCA, the Barren County Family YMCA, pays dues to the national organization. And with our budget size, we pay 2% of all of our operational income, not capital donations, but membership program fees to the national organization, and that's how they're financed.
Now, does the national organization from those dues finance the regional and the
Right.
state organizations?
Yes, the field office, there is really no expense to the state organization. Many YMCA directors, such as myself, we volunteer a lot of our time to help keeping the state and cluster and sub-cluster components operating, the annual meetings and things. And then the South Field Office is part of the YMCA of the USA. I told you it was confusing.
You've already stated more or less the purpose of it, I mean of the YMCA generally and particularly as to local organizations, but state again, what is the purpose of the YMCA?
The mission of the Y is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy body, mind, and spirit for all. That's the mission statement. And behind that, out of that, we derive our direction and for programming. And I think the most important part of that mission statement to me is, of course, the Christian aspect, but in operation, the most important two words in that mission statement are the last two, and that's for all. And it's our goal, it's the goal of the board of directors, it's the goal of the staff, that we include all the people in our service area and make sure the Y is open to everyone.
So the young men's part of it, in a sense, is obsolete.
Yes, it is. For you and me.
Well, also for Susan.
Me too. And for Susan, you're right.
Also for Susan.
That's right.
And
yeah.
particularly as to me.
Yeah.
Now, Susan, before we get into how we established one here, I think we ought to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit. What is your function as a membership director?
My main function would be to see that our members are served properly. I supervise the courtesy desk staff and the building supervisors. We make sure that we're serving our members and that they're happy, and that everyone, if someone has a suggestion, we take that into consideration and try to give them the best facility and services that we can.
How many members do you have in the organization? I think for purposes of breaking this down, you have what is called unit members and then individual members. Let's explain what you mean by, or what I meant by unit member.
Okay, right now, as of today, we have 5,119 members. And a unit would be considered a family, which may have 2 people in it, or it may have 10 people in it. We have 6 different types of memberships. We have a family membership, a single parent family membership, a senior membership, senior couple, or a student and youth, or an adult. And that would be, each adult membership would be 1 unit. Each family member or family unit would be 1 unit.
What background did you bring to the local unit as a membership director?
Well, I went to Western Kentucky University, and I got my degree in public relations, and I did an internship under Sean about 2 years ago, I guess, and had a great time, really enjoyed that, and worked there for about 6 months, I guess. And I went back to school, took some more classes, and while I was finishing my degree, I did another internship at the General Motors Corvette plant, where I did public relations there also. And then there was a job opening here, and I got this position, and I knew that I liked the organization, I liked the YMCA and what it stood for, and I think it needed some public relations, needed, as a new YMCA, when I came along in my internship, I did brochures and wrote for the paper and things like that, and I continue to do that. That's what I really enjoy.
Let's get back to you, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Briefly, I think the public generally knows here, but briefly give the history of how the organization, the local organization, was formed, how long it's been in existence, where it's located, and what facilities it has.
Well, that was before my tenure began. The YMCA started on a tennis court with Dr. Barrett Lessenberry and Philip Rutledge one night playing tennis. And Dr. Lessenberry had seen what a YMCA could do in a small community as far as impacting the quality of life. During part of his education to be an orthopedic surgeon, he was in Madisonville, Kentucky, at the Hopkins Family YMCA. He was there living. Actually, his roommate was the director and a good friend of mine. And he watched that YMCA come into existence and what it did for that community, and he loved Glasgow very much. He wanted to move back here and invest his time here, and he felt that there's nothing better could happen to Glasgow than for it to get a Y. I think a lot of people caught that vision real quickly, and the momentum grew. Barrett was able to get a lot of talented people working alongside of him, a lot of positive individuals, a lot of family-oriented people. And one thing that they always said was, you can say your town is the best in every aspect. You can start quoting statistics, crime, unemployment. But if you try to convince somebody to move here, and it's a rainy day and you're driving around town, and they see a little boy dribbling a basketball in the muddy driveway somewhere, no place to play, then it really, all those statistics don't mean much. So from the beginning, they were really looking for a facility, looking for a 12-month indoor recreational facility that families could go to. And so it began, I believe, in 1986, 1987, sometime around there, and the fundraising began almost immediately, and a lot of momentum grew, a lot of volunteers did a lot of hard work, and not just raising money, but there was a time when all the YMCA programs were not being done by professional staff, part-time staff. They were being done by people who were volunteering their time. They all had a part of that. They all saw that dream. They felt that they bought into it. And tennis clinics, day camps, safety camps, swimming lessons. A lot of people gave a lot of time. French classes, arts classes, and they really got a broad-based community effort going, and they raised $1.6 million, which astounds experts from the YMCA of the USA. In fact, Glasgow should be, and Barren County should be very proud that this YMCA is looked at as a model, as the way to do it across the country. And I have directors and people interested in building a Y contacting me all the time, and we try to help them out. And a real recent one is in Russellville, Logan County YMCA. They're trying to get one started, and we're trying to help guide them in doing so. So that's how it started. We're located at 1 YMCA Way, which doesn't tell many people very much. You can get to YMCA Way either by taking Industrial Drive off of East Main Street or 6880, or you can get to it by taking Reynolds Road off of Highway 90. And we're actually right above the Winn-Dixie Walmart Watson Shopping Center They were right above it on the hill.
A little bit about the building and its facilities.
The YMCA has a 25,000 square foot plant, and it's relatively small considering the membership numbers that Susan just quoted to us. YMCAs that boast 5,000 plus members generally have a much bigger facility. But they were really looking for quality in what they were going to build. They wanted a structure that was going to be there forever. They put their money in the right things. We've got a state-of-the-art swimming pool. We've got
Indoor.
Indoor, thank you. Yes, state-of-the-art indoor swimming pool and very spacious basketball court, indoor track, nursery, locker rooms, multi-purpose room for fitness, wellness center. Very little administrative space and staff space. All the investment went into serving people, and that's reminds us every day, as crowded as we are sometimes and trying to do so many things, that really what our job is not to worry about ourselves, but to serve those around us. And I want to tell you, Uhel, the most important square footage in that entire facility, the most valuable to the Y, has been the nursery. The nursery's open to people during peak hours. It's open to members. There's no fee, extra fee for nursery. We have professional staff, trained nursery workers who attend the kids there. It allows moms and dads to come to the Y that would normally not be able to with small children, having to get a babysitter or something. And it's really supported our membership growth equal to the fine swimming pool and the gymnasium. And I don't know if there's anyone in the area that's never been to the Y. I run into a few now and then, but you just have to come by and look at it to appreciate it.
I'll get back to you in a minute.
Okay,
and
I'll be
I'm not
here.
necessarily taking these things in order, but again, I won't give Susan some airtime here. Briefly tell us the staff. What staff is there? He has referred to the staff 2 or 3 times. Of what does it consist? How many people? And what do they do?
Excuse me, I'm not sure exactly how many people. We have several. We have, of course, Sean is our executive director, and I'm the membership director. We have an administrative assistant, Lisa Fisher, that I think is the backbone of a lot of things. She's been a lifesaver for me many times. We also have a child care director, rather, Lisa Pritchard, and she oversees the day camp, the after-school fun company, the nursery staff. We have a fitness director, Claudia Anderson, who oversees the wellness center and the aerobics classes, and she's got a good staff of people that take care of things there. And we have let's see, what else do we have? We have maintenance director. We have a new maintenance director, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, our last one is moving on, but we're sorry to see him going. But we have another person stepping in. I think will do a good job, and we have someone who oversees the programs also. Things such as soccer clinics and swimming lessons. He's in charge of the lifeguards, who do a really good job teaching little kids how to swim and things like that.
That's Josh Crace.
That's Josh Crace.
Us with that.
Can't leave him out.
All in all, we have around 70 staff, and most of them are part-time. They work less than 19 hours a week. We have altogether 9 full-time staff people.
You can be thinking of some of the programs, Susan. We'll get back to you on some of them in a minute, but now I want to get back to him. How is the local Y governed?
Local Y is led by a volunteer board of directors. It's a volunteer organization. They are in charge of the operations of the Y. Basically, the board of directors is in charge of policy and resources. They procure resources, implement policy. Board of directors hires an executive director, and they charge me with what they want done. And they give me the resources and the freedom to do what they want me to do what needs to be done. And I hire the rest of the staff. It works pretty much like most volunteer charitable organizations.
And what is your background for the position you hold?
Oh, my background. And you want brief answers, don't you? I'm feeling I'm giving too long of answers here.
No, we're doing fine.
Okay, good.
We've got plenty of time here. We're doing fine.
All right. Well, I started in the YMCA when I was a real little guy. We had a neighborhood Y, and I'd go up there for swimming. And the thing I liked doing the most when I was a kid was going up on Saturdays and watching a movie. They had a movie for all the kids, and then they had the projector. There was no VCR, so it was kind of special. But it was right near my elementary school, and when we lived in Springfield, Missouri, which is my hometown, I also went to the Y there. And back then it was just the Young Men's Christian Association. I guess just the Men's Christian Association. And there was no women allowed. And it was all men, and they had an indoor pool, and you didn't need a swimsuit because it was just all men. And it was quite a switch for some people when we made the transition to including women.
When was that done?
And I could tell you several funny anecdotes about that, but we'll probably skip over them. This is a family program. I know. It was done in the 60s, in the late 69, 1970, I guess is when YMCA in Springfield, Missouri incorporated women into it. They had the YWCA across the street. But anyway, I grew up in swimming was really my sport, I guess you'd say, and went to college on a swimming scholarship, got out, worked as a swimming coach at a university and started a youth swimming team, and got out. I got married and decided, well, I need to leave that part of my life go, I need to grow up and be somebody. But I really missed working with kids. I really missed watching people grow, learning skills, growing character. I really missed that one-on-one that you get from helping somebody reach a goal. And so I started volunteering, teaching swim lessons at the YMCA when I was 28 years old. And I taught on Saturdays and ended up getting asked to be an aquatics director. And they opened a branch, and I was over programs at 2 different branches in my hometown, a south branch and a north branch. I taught swimming lessons. I took care of youth softball programs. I also started a swim team, and we had a huge aquatics program. I had 2 staff. Both the staff had 30 people in them, and it was just a lot of fun. I went from there to Owensboro, Kentucky, where I was swim coach and director of programs, and then from there I came here to Glasgow.
Your educational background?
Graduated from Drury College in Springfield, Missouri with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication.
Now, Susan, we talked about membership a while ago and the various kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about the dues for them?
The dues, okay. We have, for a family membership, there's a $65 joining fee. All of the memberships do have a joining fee that's a one-time fee that you pay whenever you first join. It's not an annual fee. You pay it whenever you first join. You never pay that again as long as your membership is current. We have 2 types of payments, either a bank draft, which comes out of your checking or savings on the 15th of each month, or you can pay in full, whichever is more convenient. It's $21 a month for a family membership, which would be a husband and wife and any dependent children. There's a single parent family for single parents and their children. That is $19.50 a month. There's an adult membership, which is $18 a month. A student youth is $10 or $8 a month. You put me on the spot.
Doing good.
You're doing good so far.
A senior couple is $15 a month, and a senior adult is $11 a month.
You did real well.
Thank you.
Now,
Not good with numbers.
I'll throw you another curveball.
Okay.
Let's assume that I am not a member of the YMCA,
Mhm.
and you're trying to sell me that I should be a member.
Okay.
Now sell me.
Well, I think the first thing you'd need to do is come check our facility out, because it can speak for itself. Our membership dues are very low considering our facility and the service you get. I feel like they're low compared to a lot of other YMCA's. They're very reasonable. We do have several programs that go on year-round for anybody from a year old to 100. We've got, I think we have an excellent staff of people that really enjoy working there and enjoy working with people. We enjoy each other's company, and we like our members and just have a good time. It's nice, and I think our facility is just excellent considering we're only 2 years old. We have so many members, and are we 3 years old?
We're 3.
3 years old, and I've had many people come from other cities and states, and a lot of people are moving into Glasgow, it seems like, and they come to the YMCA and they comment on how nice it is and how friendly the people are, and how much we have to offer considering how young we are.
You keep talking about what you got to offer. What are some of the programs?
Okay. Well, we have swimming lessons that I think are a really good thing. I think everyone should know how to swim, and we have everything from adult swimming lessons all the way to children 6 months, I believe.
That's right.
For a parent-taught class where parents can actually get in the water and teach their infants how to swim, and every age in between. Those go on year-round. We also have aerobics that go on. If you like water aerobics, we have 2 types of those, and we have step aerobics. We have just regular aerobics that go on year-round. With a monthly pass, will get you all of the aerobics you can stand. And we have soccer clinics, and we have men's basketball. We have we have an intern that came here from Western recently who's really excited about starting some new things, and he kind of got the ball rolling for a Saturday Night Y for kids in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grades.
That's right.
To come and have something to do on a Saturday night that's fun and
Not necessarily
safe.
Basketball or...
Not
Right.
not necessarily any, I know they had a bonfire, they've had cookouts, and they dance and they eat and enjoy each other's company and have safe, clean fun.
Now, is that open to any children, whether
Open to
they're
anyone grades 6 to 9,
Okay.
regardless of whether they're a member. All of our programs are open to non-members also. It's just our members get a reduced rate, which is usually half price.
And Sassy Club, you'll probably
Sassy
be
Club,
interested
we
in
can't
Sassy
forget
Club.
that. That's a group of our senior members, either a senior or senior couples. We meet on Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock and have a big time every Wednesday morning. We have a continental breakfast, and we have a speaker that's geared toward the interests of senior citizens. We had somebody come last week and show us how to decorate for Christmas, and we've had a state trooper come and speak to us about safety in the home, especially for seniors, and some of the scams that are going on against seniors, so they can be aware of those. It's free of charge for any of our senior members. We don't charge anything. It's just a place for them to come and gather together and do things that they enjoy. And they're very active. It stands for Super Active Seniors at the YMCA. It's what SASSY stands for. And they are super active. Many of them are there at 6 in the morning and are running around the track, or they're swimming laps, or they're working out in the wellness center. And there's something else I can't forget, which is 4 o'clock club.
That's right.
that we're doing now. Sean's put a lot of time into this, which meets on Friday afternoon at 3:30. That's the name, 4 o'clock club. It did meet at Twyman Park, and now it's meeting at the Senior Citizens
Yeah, Senior Citizen
Center.
behind the Be Quick on Bunch.
Near Bunch, and it's for kids in that neighborhood that want to come join with us in some fun and fellowship, and we play games and have a Bible study, and it's a really good program for those kids.
Any age group?
Any age that wants to come.
That's right. Yeah.
Any age.
Any age. And any volunteers who want to come,
That's right.
they're welcome too to anything.
Sean, I think also that you have, and I've forgotten the official name of it, but a program for Afro-Americans.
Right. It's a Black Achievers program, and it's part of the community development umbrella that we are initiating. And community development has to do with meeting needs in the community that really may not be traditional family, fitness, recreational type needs. They're very specialized. Black Achievers is a minority mentoring program where we link up minority students, and it's not just for African Americans either. It's open to anyone. Black Achievers program is just a lot like YMCA. It's a traditional name. Black Achievers program is a traditional YMCA program. It goes back some years, but it's changed a lot over the years. But at any rate, it links up minority high school students with minority adults who are achievers. Achievers educationally, in business, industry, in human service, people that actually became and developed into the type of people that can give back to the community. And it's a good program. There are a lot of opportunities right now for minority youth and teens. There's a lot of educational opportunities if you are a minority student in a high school. And a lot of these kids just need to be told what those opportunities are. And a lot of the kids, we give them the type of information where they undergo what we call career clusters, where they explore different career fields so they can start setting goals, whether it's medical field or educational field, business and industry, communication, legal. They've all had some taste of these things. They take field trips, they go on college tours, and there's scholarship money available for minority students, and there's a lot of opportunity in this country that's available to these kids. And the goal of Black Achievers, and I don't want to speak for them, they were on your program already, but their job is just to educate the kids about the opportunities that await you as just from being born in the United States of America. There's a lot of opportunity out there. So it's a novel program for a rural area. In fact, again, we're breaking some new ground there, and we're being looked at by the YMCA of the USA as being the model of how to take a minority program and put it in a rural setting. Black Achievers program is big in larger cities like Louisville or Cincinnati, New York City. The big urban areas, Black Achievers programs is really where they are. We're the only rural YMCA that has such a thing, and so I'm really proud of Mike Turner and members of the steering committee who have worked so hard to see that done, and it's a good program. I'm real proud of it. I'm real proud of their efforts.
How's it doing?
It's doing real well. First year was a little difficult, to be quite honest with you. It was so new, and you have to, any program like that where I believe, where you're serving a real specialized need, you have to develop a lot of trust. And just like with the 4 O'Clock Club, which is another program that's inside that community development umbrella, we have to demonstrate that, look, the Y's here, we're here for good, we're here for you, we're not doing this for ourselves, we're doing it for you. We really have your best at heart. And so the first year was a real groundbreaking year. We developed a lot of trust. We went the entire program. We didn't have as much constant participation from the students that I wanted, or regular participation. A lot of high school kids in this area, they have jobs on Saturdays. They're involved in so many activities. And we're trying to get a few that will look beyond those high school years and try to get them to start preparing for that now. There's a cluster within this Black Achievers program that's pretty interesting. They have an entrepreneurial group where they're taking a group of 5 girls that were interested in this, and they're teaching them how to develop a business. And they'll be experiencing things this year like doing a budget for your business, deciding how much debt you want to incur, doing a pro forma for the type of business that you're involved in. And theirs is a retail business selling African cultural apparel, and it's a real good learning experience. And these are all freshmen. 5 freshman girls are learning the basics for entrepreneurship. And Cesar Torres is the person that's heading up that group, and he's doing a real good job with it. So those are important things, and you know, in the scope of 5,000 members and in a county of 36,000 people, you know, the YMCA is reaching out to 5 kids and giving them some real important lessons, and it might seem minute with everything else going on, but you know, I really want to see the kids in this program, what they're going to be able to develop in and bring back to their community. So it's all part of community development.
But the numbers are increasing. More numbers
Right.
this year than last year.
Yes, and more younger kids, which is good, because we want to have these kids stay with us for 4 years, start when they're freshmen, and go all the way through high school and stay with us. And there are people in this community who see the need. Money has been donated. Much of it has just come anonymously. People tell me, look, I like the work that's going on there. I want to provide a scholarship for one of these kids. So it's got community support, and it's growing in numbers too. But if we impact one child, you know, it would have been all worth it. The 20 or 30 volunteers that work hard at this, if you impact one life, I mean, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to impact a life, and so it's a worthwhile thing.
Of course, we also emphasize from time to time the Barren County part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, but I don't think the public generally knows that there are programs that affect the area outside of Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you wants to talk about some of them?
Go ahead.
Okay. As far as membership goes, probably 85 to 90% of our members are within a 10 mile radius of our facility. As far as membership, we are not as far out in the county as we think we could be. I'm not sure why that is. I think as the Y grows and programs become more vital, and we'll have more people taking that 15-minute commute to the facility. We have a lot of members in the Horse Cave, Cave City area. Last I counted, Horse Cave and Cave City area, we had around 700 people who were members. As far as programming goes, we are in the county elementary schools with after-school childcare. We also teach swimming lessons free of charge to all the county school 4th graders. If you're a 4th grader in a county school, you'll come to the Y this year for 5 free swimming lessons. You'll make 5 trips on the bus and come in and get your swim lessons, and that's this will be the 3rd year that we'll do that. We're trying something new. The 4 o'clock club has been real successful here. We are working right now with the Glasgow Housing Authority on some other community development programs, and looking at reaching into the housing authority or the housing areas in housing authority areas. I'm not sure exactly what to term it, but in Cave City with some programs, youth programs and things. But that will come in 1995.
Just what do the after-school programs entail that you have in connection with the schools?
Well, you know, after-school program is a real new program. It is there was a term given kids who went home alone, latchkey, a long time ago. I think that's, I don't like that name. But there was a real need for some type of programming and supervision for kids after school. I was in Sassy Club one day, and I had 30 seniors, and around 20 of them grew up right here in this community. And I asked them all, I said, raise your hand if you walk to school every day. And they all raised their hand. And I said, okay, keep your hands up if your children walk to school. And all their hands stayed up. I said, now, keep your hand up if your grandchildren walk to school. And all their hands went down. It's a real change is going on. Parents want their kids in supervised situations. They don't want their kids out on the street. They feel like that if they're out on the street walking to and from school, they're really putting their kids in harm's way. So the after-school program meets a real need. More working parents are able to know that their child will be ready at 5:30. Hopefully their homework will be done, because we do homework assistance with their kids. They have a devotion, a snack, a craft, free play time, and homework time after school, from the time after the school gets out until their parents pick them up around 5:30.
And how long has that been going on?
Well, that's been going on since 1991, fall of 1991, before the facility was even built.
And I take it from what I've heard about it that it has really been successful.
Mm-hmm. I think it has, yes.
From your standpoint, what are some of the needs of the Y? And again, I'm talking to you, Susan.
Do you mean as what the
Either
Y
as
needs,
far
or?
as facilities or money or anything you want to talk about
Oh,
that
gosh.
is a need that you perceive as something that the Y should have that it doesn't have.
Okay.
I'm sure you can come up with a
I
lot
can.
of them. That's what I thought.
As good as it is, I do think that, as Sean mentioned earlier, we have a small facility considering all of the members that we have, and fortunately we have a lot of community support in this town and surrounding areas. We're really fortunate to have people who support the Y just because they want to support the Y. They don't do it. They don't get anything other than satisfaction of giving us support through their membership dues and things like that.
Are you having any difficulty retaining them?
Not really. Most of them who, now that the Y's grown enough, I think it might slack off now because they see that the YMCA is rolling. You know, it's not, we can always use more funds. You know, any nonprofit organization can. But I think a lot of people look at it and say, well, look, they have over 5,000 members. They must be doing okay. You know, they may not need me anymore. And a lot of those people have stuck with us so far. I'm afraid soon they might cancel their memberships just because they don't fit, because they don't even come to the YMCA.
What do you propose to do with those that cancel?
I propose that we try to keep them by offering them even more. I'd like to see our facility, I'd like to see it double. I'd like to see it quadruple if we could. You know, again, that takes money to do that, but I think we have enough support from people who would like to use things, but they may not be interested in swimming, or they may not be interested in playing ball in the gymnasium, or they may not have children who need to go to day camp and things like that. I'd like to see us get more that would reach an even more minute, a smaller group of people. I think that the facility we have now is good for the majority of people, but if we had some fine, more specific programs and facilities that, for instance, you know, we talk about an auxiliary gym. We would like to have an auxiliary gym so we could have aerobics in there and use our multi-purpose room as put our wellness center like our Nautilus and our Stairmasters and things like that, and have office spaces. I think that I know I myself and the Kersey Desk staff could serve people much better if we had offices that were more organized. It's hard to be organized because the Kersey Desk is the central location. If you need something, you come there, and it ends up looking like a tornado came through it half the time. But I think we need office spaces, and I'd like to see us add a larger nursery. The nursery is a great thing, and maybe even it be open more hours so everybody could come any time of day and bring their children and not have to worry about a babysitter or who's going to keep their children, and they can do whatever they want.
Sean earlier was talking about in the beginning how you had volunteers that had the YMCA up and running to a certain extent before you had a paid staff. Could you use more volunteers?
Definitely.
So that is a need that you haven't mentioned that you could use.
Definitely. We can always use volunteers. I can't think of anything that would be better than having more people volunteer their time, and they really get a lot of satisfaction from that too. That's a rewarding thing to do.
Have you ever thought about, in the event you have somebody that has been a member but doesn't use the facility, but suddenly cancels out of using somebody from your Sassy Club or some other volunteer, to go contact that individual and talk to that individual about why, even though he's not using the facility, he's doing a service to he or she is doing a service to the community, and that their membership should be retained?
Right. That is the main reason that people cancel, is that they say, I just don't use it. And they say you have a great facility, a great staff, and they're very complimentary, but they feel like they are spending this money and they aren't getting anything in return. And I do believe that if people would just come and go to some of these programs, things that they never see, like after school. You're not going to see after school and how wonderful it is unless you go to the school and see it.
They need to be, I think they need to be sold on the idea that they are contributing to the community, and they're making the community in which they live a better place to live. And the more you get involved with programs that'll keep the younger people and so forth out of trouble, and
exactly
directed, why that's helping the community and it's helping everybody. And I think maybe some of these people need to be sold on that idea, and I don't know whether the community as a whole is educating the people along that line.
Well, we're going to try. We're going to make a more concentrated effort to talk about the community development activities that we're doing. Susan and I are working on a newsletter right now that's going to go out to all our members, that are showing all the different ways that they are supporting the community, not only with programs that we do, but collaborative efforts. We have kids that come from the city schools, county schools, Metcalfe County schools even, handicap and behavior disorder classes that come during the day when the facility isn't being used. During school, really from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, or even 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, there's not very many people in the facility. It's empty. But we've made up for that by allowing these schools to come. Head Starts bring their kids to use the Y every day at no charge. We work with a lot of different groups like that, trying to match up our resources with their resources to really impact people. A lot of human service organizations in this town. None of them, even as large as the YMCA, has enough resource in its own power to really affect the changes that needs to happen in some of these people's lives, or really make a dent. But if we collaborate our efforts, maybe one organization has volunteers, one organization has facility, one organization has funding, and we look at where our missions meet, where they cross, and we work together to impact that. And we're really working toward 1995 to do that, and we want to start educating our members about all the good work that we're doing, and what really all the good work they're doing, because it's their why. I get people coming in all the day, all the time, not all the day.
A long time.
boy, when's this program? All the time. And they say, man, you have got, they look at me and they say, you have got a great facility here. And I say, it's not mine. I said, this community can be very proud of it. They're the ones that built it, and they're the ones that'll keep it going. And if people, like Susan said, many of our people are members because of the mission, not because of what they personally derive from it. And even if, let's say you got in a situation where you couldn't afford a membership, you can still be a part of the YMCA. We don't deny anybody access to facilities or programs because they can't pay. We have lots of people on scholarship right now. They actually just demonstrate what their need is, and we prorate the fees so that they can afford it. A lot of single parent moms who need daycare but can't afford it, they can come to the Y because we won't turn anyone away.
Either one of you can talk about this next question, or you can ignore it. But
let's ignore it.
Okay.
But based on your experience with the different young people in the community, is there a need, or have you seen a need for parenting classes?
Just in my own household, I know I've got a need for parenting classes. I mean, I think that parents should go to a place where they can be fed and educated and taught what's important, what their priorities should be. And I think the country as a whole is going through a change in evaluating what our priorities are. And I think that parents are starting to place higher and higher and greater priorities on children. My wife and I, we know we've only got our kids for 18 years, our son, basically. When a boy turns 18, he's gone. And we want to know what we can pour into this child's life that's going to help him for the remainder of his life when he's living away from us. So there's always a need for that. And I'm always open to an opportunity where the Y can help educate parents on how to be better parents.
Is there any thought about establishing some type of program like that?
We think about it all the time, and we would like to get parents, for instance, Susan mentioned Saturday Night Y. We started Saturday Night Y by going into the leaderships of the high school, the student body presidents and things, and at the middle schools, and getting interest built up on that. But now we recognize that we need to get parents involved in those types of activities too, and so that's one way. But just strict parenting classes, whether it's for a single parent or young parents or parents who have gone through divorce, there is a need for that. I think the YMCA, hopefully the YMCA at some point will be able to do that. I think churches can come along and shoulder some of that burden as well. And men and women such as yourself who have the wisdom and the years to be good instructors, that it has to start there too.
One of the emphases that you mentioned in the beginning of the Y in England was the spiritual side of it. That raises reminds me of my next question. You also mentioned churches. How much support is the Y getting from the churches in this community?
I believe, now if you're talking about financial support, I think we're getting really what I expect. And I expect churches to take care of their own. As far as support from clergy and leadership in churches, I think they look at the Y as a good thing. They look at the Y as being dovetailing with their own mission, what they're setting out to do. We have several pastors and youth pastors that are involved on a daily and weekly basis at the Y, and we get good. For instance, we do National Day of Prayer is the first Thursday in May. It was put into law by Congress. And we get a lot of support from churches for the National Day of Prayer. We have a prayer breakfast, and they help us with that and everything. It's hard for me really to judge because I'm not at every church every Sunday. I don't know exactly, but I feel pretty good about our relationship with churches. I really do.
I gave her an opportunity to talk about needs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are some needs that need to be met? And we're
This will be the last one, won't it?
drawing near the time here.
Okay.
But
okay, so I can see the production staff here is, starting to get antsy, too. Okay. Biggest need.
What in your opinion is the most immediate need of the Y?
Most immediate need of the Y is for us to continue to strive to meet the needs of our members. And as far as facilities and things, yeah, I'd like to have more facility. I'd like to increase the value of membership to get more people involved in it, whatever that takes. If it takes, and whatever our members tell us it's going to take is what we want to provide. And if it takes a bigger facility, then we'll work toward that. If it takes programs that you don't have to pay extra for, then we want to try to provide that. But our biggest need now is getting all these members somehow involved in contributing something to the Y beyond their much appreciated membership fees. Something for them.
Susan, sounds like you've got a big job ahead of you.
Yeah, sure does.
But she's up to it.
I think so.
I hope so.
I appreciate both of you being here tonight, and it's been nice talking to you, and I hope that we have assisted the Y in letting the public know more about it and its mission and how it's going about achieving the mission. Both of you have done real well in explaining the Y to the public. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.